For decades, Princess Diana endured unimaginable pain and betrayal. Now, whispers from inside the palace suggest the tide is turning. Queen Camilla is facing serious trouble, and Prince William may be the one leading the charge. Is karma finally catching up? Stick around for the full story. This is going to be a long one. Let's get into it. Let's start at the beginning, because none of this makes sense without remembering Princess Diana. The people's princess, a global icon, a loving mother, and a woman who was thrust into a fairy tale that quickly turned into a nightmare. Diana married Prince Charles in 1981 in what the world called the wedding of the century, but behind the smiles and the carriage rides, there were already cracks. We all know the famous line from her 1995 Panorama interview, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." That third person was Camilla Parker Bowles. The affair between Charles and Camilla had been going on for years, even before Diana walked down the aisle. Diana knew it. She confronted them. She suffered in silence while the palace machine protected the future king and his mistress. Bulimia, self-harm, constant media scrutiny, loneliness in a gilded cage, Diana poured her heart out in tapes and conversations that later became books and documentaries. She was called unstable, difficult, paranoid. But history has been kinder. We now see her as a victim of a system that prioritized duty and image over human compassion. The injustices? Endless. Leaks to the press that painted her as the villain, a husband who never fully committed emotionally, and a rival who was always there in the shadows. Diana's death in 1997 shocked the world. The outpouring of grief was unprecedented, and for many, Camilla became the symbol of everything that went wrong. Public hatred was intense, the most hated woman in Britain at one point. Charles and Camilla waited years before marrying in 2005, but the scars on Diana's sons, especially William and Harry, ran deep. Camilla's rise from mistress to queen, fast forward. Camilla played the long game. She transformed her image from Rottweiler, as Diana reportedly called her, to a dutiful royal consort. She focused on causes like literacy, domestic violence, and osteoporosis. She supported Charles through thick and thin, especially during his cancer battle. By the time Queen Elizabeth passed and Charles became king, Camilla was queen consort, later styled Queen Camilla. Many admired her resilience. She won over parts of the public. But for Diana loyalists, and that includes a huge chunk of royal watchers, it always felt like an injustice. Diana should have been queen. Her sons lost their mother young, and now Camilla sits in the role many believe was never hers to claim. Insiders have long talked about underlying tensions. Harry was more open in Spare, calling Camilla dangerous and a leaker. William has been more diplomatic publicly, but reports suggest private resentment lingers from the Diana era. Cracks in the palace. William versus Camilla tensions explode. Which brings us to now, 2026. King Charles's health struggles have put everything into sharp focus. Power is shifting. Prince William, as the heir, is stepping up more than ever, and recent reports paint a picture of growing friction with his stepmother. There have been public rows, or at least very public leaks about them. Remember the tiara drama at Peter Phillips's wedding? Camilla's team allegedly blocked access to royal jewelry for the bride, and William stepped in, furious, overriding her decision. Insiders say Camilla was livid, accusing William of undermining her and breaking protocol. William reportedly believes decisions like that should come from the bloodline Charles or himself as future king, not someone who married in. Other clashes? William pushing back on family matters, including Harry reconciliation efforts, where Camilla has been cautious or opposed. Reports of William treating Charles's reign as something to endure before his time, according to sources close to Camilla. She's allegedly said he needs to be taken down a peg. William has a protective streak, especially when it comes to his mother's memory and the future of the monarchy with Kate by his side. There's talk of him wanting a cleaner, more modern, firm one that distances itself from past controversies. And Camilla, tied to the biggest royal scandal of the late 20th century, represents that old guard to some. Is William actively trying to sideline or remove Camilla from influence? No official confirmation. Of course, palaces don't work like that. But the patterns are there. Power struggles, resentment resurfacing, William asserting authority. Sources say Charles worries about Camilla's place once he's gone. William's actions suggest he might not roll out the red carpet for her in the same way.
karma, reckoning, and the public mood. Many royal fans see this as karma for the pain inflicted on Diana. The woman who endured so much betrayal is gone, but her legacy and her son's protectiveness live on.
Camilla enjoyed years of relative peace, but now, with Charles's health not the best and William rising, the past is knocking louder. Public opinion remains divided. Some love Camilla for her loyalty to Charles. Others never forgave the other woman role. Backlash episodes like the recent J.K. Rowling photo during Pride Month show she's still polarizing. What does the future hold? If William is indeed pushing back, it could mean a diminished role for Camilla post-Charles. More focus on Kate as the next queen, a fresh start. The monarchy has survived worse, but these family rifts keep the drama alive. What do you think? Is it time for full reckoning on Diana's treatment? Should Camilla face consequences for the past, or has she earned her place? Drop your thoughts in the comments, I read them all. Princess Anne steps up taking over as Camilla faces pressure. But the drama doesn't stop with William and Camilla. Enter the hardest working royal of them all, Princess Anne. Recent reports and palace whispers suggest she's quietly stepping into a bigger role, almost taking over key duties as tensions swirl around Queen Camilla. And one event this week left King Charles absolutely stunned.
Princess Anne, the reliable rock of the family. Princess Anne has always been the no-nonsense, duty-first royal. Never one for the spotlight or lavish displays, she's out there rain or shine, fulfilling hundreds of engagements a year.
While others rest or navigate controversies, Anne is the steady hand, a councillor of state, chancellor of multiple universities, and someone who commands respect across the board. Insiders say her relationship with Camilla has been tested lately. There are reports of friction, especially around family matters like how Beatrice and Eugenie have been sidelined amid Andrew's issues. Anne, fiercely protective of her nieces, is said to be unhappy with what she sees as outsider influence pushing them out, and some sources point fingers at Camilla's circle. Anne doesn't suffer fools, and she's not afraid to speak her mind privately to her brother the king. This week, during high-profile state events and banquets, Anne's presence was impossible to ignore. She's been front and centre, supporting Charles in ways that highlight her reliability. At recent gatherings, her poise and experience shone through recycling wardrobe choices from decades ago, in a classy and sustainable nod that won praise while handling protocol with ease. Camilla, dealing with her own headlines and behind-the-scenes pressures, has seen Anne naturally fill gaps. One moment reportedly left King Charles stunned. During a state banquet this week, as formal proceedings unfolded with international guests, Anne took on more visible responsibilities, greeting dignitaries, ensuring smooth flow, and stepping in with that trademark efficiency. Charles, already navigating health challenges and family rifts, looked taken aback by just how seamlessly his sister commanded the room. Sources close to the palace describe it as a quiet power shift. Anne isn't grabbing the throne, she's simply doing what she does best, getting on with the job when others are distracted by drama. This fits perfectly into the bigger picture. As William pushes for a modern monarchy and questions linger about Camilla's long-term influence, Anne represents continuity, hard work, and loyalty to the core values including, many believe, honouring their late mother's legacy in her own steadfast way. She's never been one for scandals or power plays. She's the anti-Camilla in the eyes of some traditionalists, reliable, royal by blood, and utterly dependable. Will Anne's increased role sideline Camilla further? Or is this just the family pulling together during tough times? Princess Anne has proven time and again she's the backbone. With Charles's reign facing pressures from health, Harry tensions, and internal rows, having Anne step up could be exactly what the firm needs. Royal watchers, hold on to your crowns because this next chapter is a bombshell. While the palace tries to project stability, King Charles is reportedly facing deep humiliation behind the scenes. Fresh financial revelations and growing scrutiny have put the spotlight squarely on the sovereign grant, that taxpayer-funded pot that keeps the monarchy running. And at the heart of it, questions about Queen Camilla's influence and power. Some insiders are even whispering that judges and official reviews have effectively stripped her of certain controls. Let's break it down. The sovereign grant drama: money, power, and public backlash. First, the basics. The sovereign grant is the public money given to the king for official duties, palace upkeep, travel, staff the works. It's tied to crown estate profits and it's been ballooning. Recent reports show it hit record highs to cover Buckingham Palace renovations, over £137 million this year. But here's where it gets humiliating for Charles. In a rare move for transparency, the palace revealed Charles has paid over £30 million in personal taxes since becoming king. That's a first, trying to show value for money amid criticism. Yet the core grant is set to settle around £99.9 million annually from 2027. Sounds like a cut, right? Not quite. The baseline has nearly doubled in recent years, and critics are furious. Calls for radical reductions are growing louder, especially with the royal workload reportedly down while funding soars. Now, the Camilla angle. As Queen, her role in royal finances and household decisions has expanded. But with power struggles involving William, Anne, and broader scrutiny, reports suggest official reviews involving government figures like the Prime Minister and Chancellor acting in trustee roles have tightened oversight. Some tabloid spins claim it's like judges or legal/financial authorities limiting how much sway Camilla has over how that grant money flows, especially on personal or household perks. King Charles looks stunned and embarrassed by the backlash. He's fighting cancer, dealing with family rifts, and now this public money debate feels like a direct hit to his reign's dignity. The decision that he and Camilla won't even move into the freshly renovated Buckingham Palace, staying at Clarence House instead, has raised eyebrows. Why spend hundreds of millions on a palace the monarch won't call home? It fuels arguments that the funding isn't delivering what taxpayers expect. This ties straight back to Diana's legacy and past injustices. Many see the scrutiny as part of that long overdue reckoning. Camilla's journey from controversial figure to queen has always come with questions about resources and influence. Now, with William asserting himself and Anne stepping up reliably, Camilla's position feels more vulnerable. Is the sovereign grant review a subtle way of reining in that power? Palace sources deny any direct stripping, but the optics are humiliating for Charles, forced into more transparency while defending the institution's costs. Analysis and royal implications. Experts point out the golden ratchet that usually prevents cuts is being adjusted, but the overall trend shows rising baseline support. Critics argue the monarchy needs slimming down, especially with security costs, not in the grant, adding tens of millions more. For Charles, this feels like humiliation on multiple fronts: personal health, family drama, and now financial accountability under the microscope. Camilla has been a pillar for Charles, but these money rows amplify old narratives. Will this lead to real reforms or just more spin? As one commentator put it, the firm is under pressure like never before. Team, what's your take? Is this legitimate scrutiny or unfair attacks on Camilla? Should the sovereign grant be slashed further? Does Charles deserve this humiliation after everything with Diana? Comment below. I want to hear your thoughts on royal finances and power plays. This financial firestorm shows the monarchy isn't immune to modern pressures. As we watch William, Anne, and others maneuver, the question remains: can Charles steer through without more embarrassment? Stay tuned for more.